In this advanced copy of the blog, we are showing that Blue Marvel is indeed a ridiculously strong character. Really can't wait to get a hold of him and see what he can actually do in this game. The blog begins like this concerning the Blue Marvel. He's a titan of power who refuses to fall, and his legacy is set to begin in Marvel Strike Force. Blue Marvel lands in battle soon, and his abilities will transform the battlefield and give theater characters the opportunity to create truly frightening squads that will test the savvy of opponents. Check out our recent Target Blue Marvel blog for details on how to unlock him, including outfitting characters with new levels of purple ISO 8. They're making this character a multi-game mode titan. Blue Marvel is a plug-and-play powerhouse whose might transcends game modes. He can lead the charge on offense, but he features several perks on defense that make him and his squad of allies an antimatter fueled wall. So we have here yet another plug-and-play character. I'm very curious to see what use you have for him on the offensive or even the defensive side of the ball. Attacks that leave a mark. All of Blue Marvel's attacks ignore defense up and reduce the duration of safeguard and immunity. His basic and passive both reduce max health of his target, while his special can't be blocked or dodged, and his ultimate is unavoidable. It's really interesting to see that we're getting more characters that have permanent health damage, and this guy in particular destroying defense up and safeguard. That is a mainstay for how to keep your character safe. Increasing strength. Blue Marvel also gets stronger with each turn that he and his enemies take. On each of Blue Marvel's turns, he gains damage and resistance up to a maximum of 75%. At the end of an enemy's turn, he gains speed and armor up to a maximum of 80%. The longer the fight goes on, the more difficult it's going to be to deal with this character, and the easier it's going to be for him to overtake you. Built to endure, born to defend. Blue Marvel features special targeting and abilities while on defense that'll make your opposition think he's indestructible. While on defense, his special targets the enemy with the least speed bar, ignoring taunt and stealth. His ultimate turns into an attack all if an enemy has charged, and on spawn, he gains speed bar if an enemy has charged. Although his sustain isn't locked to defense, Blue Marvel is tough to eliminate in battle. He heals and buries himself each turn, while also healing himself per negative effect cleared after an enemy's turn. Alright, now that we got the synopsis, let's see how this guy is actually going to perform, and we need to start by looking at his passive ability, because that's the engine that's going to be driving the potency of this character. His passive ability is Man of Marvels. On spawn, gain defense up for 2 turns, bury yourself for 30% of this character's max health. And if the character is on defense and any enemy has charged, he's going to fill his speed bar by 50%. So on the defensive side, he's going to be going very, very quickly. On turn, heal self for 20% of this character's max health and bury yourself for 15%. Gain 15% damage and 50% resistance up to a maximum of 75%. Now we have our picture here of Silver Surfer on the screen because he reminds me of that character. Silver Surfer healed in everybody's turn, right? Everybody took a turn. Anytime anyone took a turn, the guy was healing, and I believe that the Blue Marvel is going to act in that same way. But what about if an enemy takes a turn? Well, on an enemy end turn, reduce all negative effects on self by 2. If any negative effects were cleared, heal self for 5% max health per negative effect cleared, gain 20% speed and 20% armor up to a maximum of 80. So what's this telling us? When our opponents go, he's simply going to decay negative effects. So you're not going to be able to slow him down necessarily with things like trauma, right? Silence. That's not going to slow him down for long. If he clears that, he's just going to heal more, and every time your opponent goes, he's getting an increased 20% to his speed. He is easily going to start to lap us, outpace us, and man, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem dealing with a Man of Marvels. But this passive just keeps on giving. Let's continue to see what's going on. When an enemy kills an ally, or on defense, when an enemy becomes empowered, attack that enemy for 300% piercing damage. As he goes to increase his strength, this is going to be a problem. I'm wondering if he'd be able to one-shot some of our average powered characters as he gets stronger and stronger as the match increases. This attack ignores defense up, it's unavoidable, and the damage reduces the max health of the target by the same amount. Until this character completes a turn, this character cannot gain stun, so he's going to get his first turn off. We will not be able to control him in that way, and then his speed will start to tick up. The speed and focus of this character and all allies can only be reduced by negative effects. Sorry, Emma, I think this is a call out to her. Like, we're not going to be able to keep this guy under control in the traditional fashion that we are used to. Gain 25% max barrier and 25% drain. So does that mean that ultimately this individual will have 55% barrier? Is that what it's telling us? And all of his attacks, because this is on his passive, all of his attacks are also going to drain. He is going to be difficult to knock out. With those points in mind, let's get into the rest of his abilities. His basic is antimatter assault. Reduce the duration of safeguard on a primary target by 2. So here we go on a basic ability, removing safeguard. Attack the primary target for 300% piercing and flip 3 random positive effects. This damage reduces the max health of the target by the same amount. On defense, this attack targets the enemy with the highest max health instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth. This attack ignores defense up and cannot be blocked. If he's called in on an ISO 8 attack, a counter attack, or an assist, he's going to attack the target for 225% piercing plus 17% piercing. I'm not 100% sure how that goes. If it's like one attack and a second attack, sort of. Anyway, you're going to still flip those 3 random positive effects. And this ISO attack, this counter attack, will still reduce max health of the target. That is insane. This attack ignores defense up and cannot be blocked. His special ability is called Cosmic Battery. Energy costs 4 out of 4, so he can use this right away. Gain offense up for 2 turns, reduce the duration of safeguard and immunity on the primary adjacent target, and apply slow for 2 turns to the primary and adjacent target. Apply the opposite of all positive effects on this character to the primary target. That sounds like it's something that could get really weird. Curious to see what it's going to do. Well, one thing we know it's going to do is some damage. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 380% piercing and deal 5% of this character's max health as damage. Now be mindful, the beginning of the ability also said it's getting offense up, so this is going to hit hard. Transfer all negative effects from the primary target to each adjacent target. On defense, this attack targets the enemy with the least speed bar instead of the primary target, ignoring taunt and stealth. This attack ignores defense up and it cannot be blocked or dodged. His ultimate ability, Dark Matter Destruction. Energy costs 6/6, so he can use this right out of the gate as well. Reduce the duration of safeguard and immunity on primary and adjacent targets by 2 and apply defense down for 2 turns. So once again, we're trying to wipe out our safeguard and immunity. We're relieving ourselves of our protection. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 400% piercing, flip all positive effects on each target, and apply Disrupted for 2 turns and Trauma for 2 turns. Now, I think it's interesting, the special, you started out with offense up, but with this ability, he's giving you defense down. So once again, we're ensuring that you're going to take a hard hit. Flip charge on each target to bleed. On defense, if an enemy has charge, this attack targets all enemies instead. So this is going to be an AoE right out of the gate, punishing people who are charged. Really interesting. Again, curious to see how this is going to work in the live game. This attack ignores defense up, it's unavoidable, and it cannot be blocked. So man, this is Blue Marvel. The guy is looking amazing. He's not going to be horrendously difficult to acquire. That's what we're being told. So I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how long it takes to get him. I'm still working on Xavier. Where are you at in your Xavier journey? Are you excited about Blue Marvel? I am. Right? We got a lot of plug and play characters in the game right now. It seems like they've kind of reversed course and they're even giving us more characters. So hey, theory crafting is back open. I want to hear from you. Are you interested in this character? What special combination of characters, teams building do you think is going to be effective with the Blue Marvel? Hey, and if you haven't seen this video right here, please check it out. It's legit.